Welcome to an episode of Planet Zoo. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this game. This is by the same people who does Planet Coaster. And what I'm really excited about this is one, the team's dedication to having it be good for the animals in the game, but also it seems to be more fit towards the way I played Planet Coaster, which was not building coasters but the parks. So I'm really excited to see how this works. But first, let's see what this says. Oh, it should also be noted that this is the beta version of the game. I purchased the deluxe version of the game, and that allows me to play this beta, which is from September until some point in October. And so that's how I'm playing this game before the full release. But first it says, thank you for joining us. We are just a few steps away from experiencing the world of Planet Zoo. First, we'll need to create an avatar for yourself to represent your amazing creations among the Planet Zoo community. Make sure to create someone your friends will recognize. So I'm going to go do that real quick. I mean, relatively, because it's never quick for me to make characters. The problem I have with making my avatar in this game is I always prefer the way that the teens look, like their clothes and stuff. I always think they look way cooler. But I suppose I'll go with an adult. Being an adult. This is what we got. I wish you could change the color, like the fancy color in the hair. But when it comes to the hair choices, you have just standard color or the cool one, and it has one that they do by default. So that's what I'm gonna stick with, even though I'd prefer to have like the blue stripes.
Ooh.
Place your avatar HQ. This is where other people will see your avatar and access any zoos or blueprints that you've shared. Position your avatar anywhere on the globe. You can edit it later. Ooh. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna say right around there-ish. Here. Alright, so now we can do scenario or franchise. Oh, they have community challenges. That's going to be cool. So a scenario, embark on a career in zoo management, create varied and interestingly challenging scenarios, and see how far you can go. Or franchise. Are you ready to launch your own franchise? Build zoos all around the world, breed animals, and release them into the wild. But don't forget about your visitors. And then the sandbox. Let's go with scenario. The Goodwin House. Ooh, hello, buddy. Renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in the 1980s, Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. More recently, it has undergone a further renovation to update many of its habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work has not quite been completed, which is where you come in.
Ah, heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planco language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Ooh, alright. So, basic controls, select, cancel, pan camera, zoom, scroll, rotate camera, yep. Undo.
Hello
Control
there.
C,
From that
redo.
rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on.
Alright.
But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Let's move this around. No, we can't. Okay, so we need to go look at the grizzly bears. So I may pause and see if there's something I could do to make it a little less framey. I don't know how much it doesn't seem like it's potentially being recorded as much as I'm seeing it, but if I can fix that, I'd like to. Alright, let's get a zoom in on this. Oh, we can replay dialogue. That's cool. So locate the grizzly bear habitat, enter the area with enter grizzly bear camera. Alright.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too.
Type that. Excuse you, sir. Or ma'am.
Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
I did that. Ma'am. Okay. Now what? You can see this. Her enrichment isn't good. They have no toy.
This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Already there. Done it. I go over to the one that isn't standing in its own, ew.
See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it.
Ooh, look at that guy. Alright, can we exit it? There we go. So if we double click on it.
Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Okay. We'll have to remember to come back and help them with their problem. It has been... This place is huge. Look at this. It looks amazing. Alright, let's go over here then. Hello, lion.
Panther,
buddy.
Leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride.
Good Lord.
Although prides of that size are pretty rare.
Look at the little
As
buddy.
Bernie would say, those lions are awesome. Which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to our warthog habitat and see what needs doing there.
Probably a lot. Because it says locate an empty habitat. Let's zoom out. Is it marked for us? Yes. Zoom on in.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for warthogs, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. The warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Ooh. Animal market. Oh, here's some warthogs. Decent. Okay. They just adopt them. Yep, okay.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Buy from the side menu.
Got
Normally
it.
the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great. And then let's go ahead and send to zoo. Put it in here. Livery is queued. Did we just get one? Not yet.
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
I'm ahead of you, lady. I got this. I can be clever every once in a while. Look at his hair! It's amazing. Whoa!
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat,
Hi,
your
buddy.
caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
You've marked the... Ah, here it is. This is the trade center. Ah, it is a little, what are they called? Wormhole? Where they go in and just disappear.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible.
Also
Of
good.
course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health.
Way to be rude health. Oops.
Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment.
Alright. And obviously we'll be
Luckily,
able
if
to...
you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information.
Zoopedia. And look at all these stats we can look at. Terrain. Environment. Enrichment. Stud book. So it looks like they're a timeline. So this one's 5 or 4.5. Welfare.
Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Alright. Where should we put this? Maybe over here? There's a bit to eat and a little bit of drink. Alright. Lift and then drip. Oh, yep, go up and down. Or we can rotate
Animals
them.
also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Sorry, I'm still learning about placement. Just because it's been a little bit since I played Planet Coaster. But most of this is starting to come back to memory. But we can always check that again. We've got... Oh, a mud bath. Where do we want a mud bath? Maybe that would have been a good... No, it's too big. Maybe over here where there's some dirt and stuff. Maybe we'll get it up here. Well, that does look nice right there. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, Our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh state. Unfinished thingamajigs and what's-its all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Over near the hippos. Well, it's like I even know where those are. Ooh, over there. They got a big area. Alright, let's zoom in here. Let's close this so we can see.
Job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay. Bring this up. Habitat gate. Ah. We have to put it there. It seems like having it somewhere like over here would make more sense. It seems to make it mad. Alright, we'll put it where you want. There.
Right. Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Okay. Click. Oh, oh. Bring it in. Maybe turn it, I guess. Okay. So, if we'll meet up right. Oh. We get it to snap.
Good work. Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
Okay. I want to edit this, but I don't know how, so I guess we'll come back to that later. It'll have to do. It's a little wonky, but it should be okay. Let's grab some barrier, she said. Is it a train? Ooh! It's a train to show off all of the animals. They're nice. So we select it and then do glass.
Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
Need it. Do we need another one? No. Okay, now we need to adopt our ostriches. Find animals that are on sale here.
Alright, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
Ooh, compare mates. Ooh, okay. There's a lot of detail in here. Love it. Adopt, adopt, and adopt. And then Wikipedia, view and trade center, sent to zoo. Open trade center right here. Ah, okay. Good. So we've got 3 ladies and 1 dude. So sent to zoo into here. The delivery scheduled. Let's get these other 3 placed.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item.
Okay. Slow feeder. It must be food enrichment. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals. Can I put in more windows yet? No. I'm not allowed. I don't have the power. Alright, let's put this guy here. Hi, buddy. Oh, you look amazing. Oh, you sound amazing too. Alright, let's get that done. We've got a big water trough. Maybe we'll stick that over here by their habitat. Right. Oh, it's Z. Z's the one. Let's, lower that. Oh, I hear another arrival. There we go. Hi, friend. Welcome to your new home. Goodbye. Quick little guys, aren't they? Let's put the food over here. Yay! Yes, we got a bronze objective.
Good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour?
Wow.
Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Oh, they're amazing.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
Okay, so these are all keeper huts. Let's go with this guy. We'll put it over here. So this road is a special one. I'm sure they'll tell you about it here in a second, but let's see if we can get this turned around. Was it F that allowed? I don't remember. There's one that allows you to like snap to the grid, but let's go for now.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear.
Alright.
Something that all facilities, shops,
Power.
and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
Ooh, power and water. Neat. These aren't things we used to have to worry about. Nope, wrong one. Oh, this way. Okay.
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Wait, where? Bottom left. Here. Ah, very good. So I'm placed in this transformer here. Locate the highlighted area.
Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos.
Yay!
Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers.
Yay.
We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
Not too far away. Oh, been facing the wrong way. There we go. There's nothing here. No walls.
Righty, your next job is to build a habitat. From scratch. And wood and concrete, I expect. So go ahead and build it. And don't forget the habitat gate.
Don't forget the habitat gate. Alright.
It's always best to place the habitat gate close to the keeper hut. As it happens, there's one quite near to the trade centre.
that over here? Yes, over here.
Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
Okay, so we'll want to put it maybe in front of this little crater here. Go ahead and give this a turn. Wow, look at all these details. So we can look at the creature. Got all their stats, their natural habitat, their data. Ooh, we can research stuff. Interspecies enrichments. They don't benefit from sharing space with other species. Alright. World records. Ooh, coming soon. I was trying to find where it told me how... Oh, it's probably the help. I was gonna see how to snap to the grid. Space. Okay. Let's get this built up then. Ah, alright, so we can snap. Down there we have straight or curved, height, length, angle snap, height mode, windows, height labels, and camera stuff. Alright, let's just stick with the easy stuff for now. Is a bit laggy. Oh, I can freeform it now. Alright, let's go ahead and grab that and continue though. Like I'll try to click it and then it'll take until the... waiting. Did our game crash? Nope, we're good. But as you can see, that's quite laggy. And I don't know if that's something going on with my computer or if that has to do with the game. We're gonna have to finish up this episode soon. The wall people are back.
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think?
Yeah.
The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier.
Okay.
Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool. Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a minimum height of 4 meters.
Okay, so we're at 2 right now. Can I just do this? Okay, let's exit out of that. What's this? Plus 2. I have no idea. Alright, let's exit out of that. I got a multi-select tool. So that selects everything outside, or like not the barrier. So she says double click. That enters this mode. And then there's a magical barrier selection tool that I seem to be missing. So there's some interesting information about barrier heights. I do like the flat top look better than the undulating, matches the curve of the world. That I still can't seem to find the select the whole barrier button. This adjusts the width of the panel, so if we get in here. Oh. Maybe that's the, I guess that's the select. I thought what that was doing was expanding the panel, but I guess not. Let's go ahead and keep going all the way around. Alright, now we've got it all selected. Up to, let's hit the space. Okay, that's 4 meters exactly. All the way around. Oh, see, now there's certain spots that aren't 4 meters.
Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
Yay! Once we get a silver, I'll probably finish up this episode. Not there. Here, animal trading. Animal market. Ooh, expensive. Adopt and adopt. Send to zoo. And send it to zoo.
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Oh, we should put this over by the where they can see it. So let's get the feeding station like here.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
Let's give them some calm water. So we can see a marker on where the height of the water will be. Yeah.
Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
So we've got a blood pumpkin and a rubbing pad. Let's stick that over here by this bush.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
I think that's gonna actually have to be it for this episode. Now they're sawing something, so we're just gonna have to call it there. So that is the first impressions of this game. I'm so excited to play it more. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.